Have you ever just really needed to slow down, turn inward, and focus on the little mundane beauties in life? That's kind of the moment that I'm in right now. It's November, and I feel like all of nature around me is doing that, so it's a good moment. It fits well with the ebb and flow of nature. The trees and the animals are all going into hibernation, and I guess I feel like I am too. Last month was a really difficult month for me, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But for now, I'll just say it was hard. And I need to recover. I need to heal. I need to create joy in my life. And I need to recognize the joy that is there, the beauty that is there. It's all around me all the time. It's all around all of us all the time. Sometimes we get distracted by the challenges in life. And yeah. This month, I'm going to be working on letting the beauty come back. By the way, I should probably mention, my name is Crystal, and this is Keep Growing Plants. This week's video is a little mini vlog, just a weekend vlog, and you'll see soon. I'm going to repot some plants with you all. Hope you enjoy. I don't know if you've figured out what I'm making here, but it's bread. I make bread every weekend. This is a little ritual for me, and it's been this way for many, many years. Over the years, I've perfected the recipe to be just how I like it. And sometimes I make little adjustments, but I don't follow one recipe. It's my recipe. This week, I'm going to be making a really special one. Later on in the video, when I come back to this task, you'll see I'll be adding chocolate chips and raspberries into one of the loaves. It's going to be super yummy. I'm excited, and I really need this little treat in my life right now. But anyway, let's finish this up and get to the plants. Time to get into the repots. We've got a few cuties down here beside me, and I'll show you them in a moment. For example, you've seen her a few times, my Hoya discipulae. She is very well rooted at this point, and she's desperate for me to give her a pot. Poor girl. So we're gonna definitely get her in a pot. That's one of the priorities. I've also got a few anthuriums to upsize, and maybe my philodendron squamiferum, which in my last repot video I said I might do it and I didn't, and she's again at the bottom of the priority list, but that's okay. We'll see if we get to her. I'm gonna do my best. I also have a cutting of Hoya sigillatus. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right. There's 3 cuttings in here, but only one of them has a leaf. They seem to have been rooting well, but I don't know for sure how strong they are. But it's been quite a while that they've been in this jar rooting, so I'm gonna get them in a pot. It's time. And the anthuriums that I want to repot are the little babies that Natasha from Planted and Platinum gave me. I've got 3 little baby anthuriums from her. We're going to be upsizing their pots. They've grown quite a lot since she sent them to me. I'm really happy. This one even has a little baby leaf coming in. Look how cute. So yeah, they all need to be upsized. And my queen, Anthurium warwickwianum, she needs an upsize. I really hope this isn't going to stress her too much. One person recently told me that when they upsized their Queen Anthurium's pot, she went into a bit of a shock period. But I have a feeling she's going to be okay because she's been growing so well for me. So yeah, I'm going to give her an upsize. This pot is so tiny for the size that she is. She really needs it. I also would like to upsize my Luxurians. And look how cute she is. She's doing really well. But just like the Queen, she's kind of ready. She's got some little feet poking out of the hole. And Anthurium in general do need to have a lot of space around their roots. So I'm going to err on the side of caution. She's not showing any signs of stress or anything, but especially since we're going into winter, I want to make sure that my Anthuriums have a lot of moisture around their roots. My plants in general, they tend to need to be watered more in the winter. I hear a lot of people speak online about their plants needing to be watered more frequently in the summer, but that's not the case for me. I think it's because we have like a really good air circulation system in this house, and we also have a wood stove and a fireplace, and so all of these things plus the electric heat, all of these things contribute to drying out the air. My humidity at the moment, I think the last time I looked at it, it was like in the 40s, which is okay, but that combined with terracotta, it does the dry out. The dry out period is pretty quick, especially with small pots. I actually probably should be repotting my passiflora as well. I realized that tonight, but I don't have a pot for her at the moment, so it's gonna have to wait till the next time. Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that is because I watered her on Thursday. I watered a bunch of my plants on Thursday. It's now Saturday. It's been 2 days, and a lot of them really need to be watered already. So I think there's going to be a lot of repots coming up in the near future. If you like repot videos, you will enjoy that, I'm sure. Anyway, yeah, let's get to it. I'm going to clip this down, and that means the sound quality might be a little diminished. Sorry in advance. Yeah, I'm going to change the camera angle so you can see me working on the repots. The first one that I'm going to do is my Queen. There we go. That's a better position. So yeah, it's getting to be drier, like I was saying. I've been watering way more frequently, and it's really a shame that I have all of this extra work to do, but it's okay. I don't mind it in the sense that I would rather do that extra work and still use terracotta pots because I do really love them for many reasons, and I feel it's worth the extra effort. If I were to put them all in a different kind of pot, I'm sure that I would have less work. Oh, I forgot my little knife. So yeah, if I were to put everybody in like glazed pots or plastic with cash pose, stuff like that, it would probably save me some work, but I don't mind. I really don't mind. I kind of enjoy watering my plants. Sometimes it's a chore, like if I'm really, really busy, but in general, it's really a pleasure. It's really a joy. It's like the moment that I get to interact with them. I don't know if that explains it well. I hope that I'm being gentle enough with her. I'm trying to be really gentle. Hope she'll be okay. She is my pride and joy. I can see she's got like some new aerial roots that are coming in here and here. So what I'm actually going to do is when I pot her, I'm going to make sure that I put the substrate going all the way up to there, and the top dressing of moss will be like around that area. So she'll get a chance to get more roots into the pot She's going to be way happier. I'm really glad I'm doing this. Oh crap, I just snapped off one of the aerial roots. Clearly I did not do a good enough job with this step. I mean, it's better an aerial root than a leaf. So it's not the end of the world, but it would have been nice to keep both of the new aerial roots, but it's okay. Oh, I can feel some of them. This is one of the downfalls of terracotta that a lot of people complain about, is that sometimes the roots grow right into the terracotta. A little bit, I can feel them being a bit sticky. But I love the breathable quality of the clay. There we go. There we go. Here she comes. And you can see, I'll come closer. You can see her roots. They look pretty good. I think there's some new growth on the root there, which is nice. Nice to see that. Yeah, these are some very healthy roots. Oh, I'm happy. I'm really happy. This leaf here that looks really, really tattered, that was part of her when I bought her. She already had that leaf at that time. But these two beautiful new leaves were both grown in my care, and I'm so proud. Oh my goodness, she's so long. I thought that with this pot, she would be taller. She would be tall enough that her leaves wouldn't touch the ground in this pot, but they're almost touching. If she puts out if her next leaf comes out even longer, she's definitely going to be longer than this very tall pot, which is hilarious. Oh yeah, I said I wanted to put her down a bit lower. I almost forgot. Oh, and I want my mycorrhizae. I will grab it. 1 second. I'll just place her very delicately. By the way, this little fluffy thing in the corner, that's Jojo's butt. Where's my myco? Where is my myco? Next weekend, we're doing a big overhaul cleaning of my supply closets because everything is such a mess. It's hard to find things. Okay. I'm back. I've got my great white, which is gonna be good. I'm glad I'm remembering, so I can put it directly on the roots. Ooh, that was a lot. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to do this. Clearly, I'm gonna have to lift her up. I don't want to cause any damage on the tip of that leaf. So just to keep her up off the ground while I'm doing this, I've lifted her up. I'll change the angle of the camera too. There we go. So how are you all doing these days? Are you enjoying the change of the seasons? Did you have a good Halloween? At the time of recording right now, this is November 1st, so it was just Halloween last night. And yeah, did you do anything special? I'd love to hear about how things are going for you all. I know that this time of year can be rough for a lot of people. The temperature changes and nature going into hibernation can kind of bring around the blues for a lot of people. And I think I am not so much bothered by the change of the seasons, but I do still find this time of year difficult for a few reasons that I've spoken about a little bit. I will speak a little bit more about it today. But yeah, 1 second, I'll come back to that in a moment because look, she's done. I just have to put a top dressing of moss. I have a little bit of moss over here, trying to get some. There we go. I don't have a whole lot of moss right now. I really need to order some. That's going to be part of the closet cleanup supply video. I will also be figuring out exactly what I need to increase my supplies. This is a bit of cocoa coir and moss mixed together, but that'll do the trick. I just want like a little humidity barrier. And also it helps for me to see the moss drying out. I find that the color changes and it like kind of gives me a tip that it's time to water. Okay. And I'm gonna water her now, actually. I'm gonna give her a nice big drink to help her adjust with as little stress as possible. I'm gonna water all the way through until it drips into this bowl. I just use like a baking drying rack over just a metal bowl as my little watering station for some plants. I don't use it for all of my plants all the time, but when I need to. This is a nice deep pot. I think this is going to be really good for her. Still not coming out of the bottom. Must hold a lot of water. That's good. She has a new leaf coming in, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but it's right there. And that was one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to repot her right away, because I wanted to do it before that fragile leaf is coming in, because then I would have to wait until that hardened off. I was like, it's now or in a month. And I'd rather not wait the month. Her pot was so tiny. What am I doing next? Ah, yes, my 3 little ones. This one is the Pappy hybrid, no ID hybrid. So it's a Pappy, we'll say Pappy. It's a Pappy crossed with a no ID. And then that plant was selfed. And then these two, which I call the twins. Oh, I have a tag stuck to me. These are both Clarinervium cross with Doriaki. Here we go. This leaf is really pretty, eh? It's really, really coming in nicely. Oops. The good thing is these little seedlings were only upsized not that long ago. So their roots are really like not into the sides of the terracotta, but they are very healthy, as you can see here. They're really chunky and white. They're doing really well. It's nice to see. Seedlings can be more fragile and need to be upsized kind of frequently. At least that's been my experience so far. Specifically anthurium seedlings. There. One of the twins, looking cute. It's a big difference. Should help. So yeah, what I was talking about before was like about what's been hard over the last month. And I would say the hardest part over the last month has been just dealing with remembering that it's the the anniversary of two very sad events in October for me. One is the passing of my grandmother. She passed away 2 years ago on October 18th. So this was the 2-year anniversary. And she was very important to me. She was a very big part of my life. I grew up I grew up with a mom but no dad, and my mom and I, we lived with my grandparents most of the time when I was growing up. Periodically, we did get our own apartment here and there, but we would often we would move into an apartment and then maybe a year or two would pass and then we would move back in with my grandparents. And that went on all through my childhood and teenage years as well. Oh, I forgot the Myco. I'm gonna have to put it in the water. Anyway, so yeah, I'm very close with I was very close with my grandparents because of the fact that we lived in the same house. It wasn't just that I visited them. I'm sure everyone's close with their grandparents to a certain extent, but there's something about living with people that really changes the relationship in some ways. Anyway, so it was very hard to lose my grandmother, and it's very sad to be brought back into that memory. And it was a hard situation as well, because basically the short form version of this story, I'll try to keep it short and not go too into detail, but the short form is that she didn't have a lot of people around her near the end, and she knew that she wasn't feeling well, and she had been going to the doctor about it, but she had been told just that she was probably lacking iron, and that was making her tired, and that her lack of appetite was probably just due to normal changes in appetite that happen to everyone when they get older. But it just kept getting worse and worse, and the doctors, at the very last minute, they did reach out to me to tell me that they were getting concerned about her, that they thought maybe that there was something else. And more than that, but it was really, really at the end, like in the last week, that they reached out to me. And the reason they reached out to me is because I was the person that was like most present in her life. And they felt that she wasn't taking their advice seriously, and they wanted me to encourage her to go get tested to see if there was something else going on. Anyway, so I didn't want to force her to go, and she really didn't want to go to the hospital for more tests. She was afraid that she would end up put in a home if there was something serious, and it was like one of her biggest fears. She wanted to keep her autonomy as long as possible, and so she didn't want to leave her apartment. So I think she was too afraid, and I had a lot of conversations with her in that last week, trying really, really hard to convince her. I'm gonna put this top dressing, and I was trying to be patient, and unfortunately in that period of being patient, she stopped answering her phone, which never happens. She always answers her phone when I call. So I was really concerned, and I ended up calling. Like I said, there was no one else in her life, so I couldn't. Okay, another backstory. Important thing to note is that we were provinces apart. So I couldn't go physically to visit and check on her. And there was no one to call to ask to check on her. So I had no choice but to call like the different social services that exist for these kinds of situations. And what happened is the police did a wellness check, and I ended up getting like waiting and waiting for them to check because I knew something was wrong. I knew she wasn't answering. And I think the queen is ready to come off, and I'm going to water the other three. Yeah, so the police did a wellness check, and unfortunately, she was found no longer alive. Oh, I'm having trouble telling this story. It's really hard. So I'm mixing up my words because of it. It's really hard to think about. Yeah. So the reason I'm sharing this story is, in some ways, although it is hard to share, it's also therapeutic to let our feelings out sometimes. So that's what I'm trying to do. Oh, I see some roots exposed. I need to cover this better. Yeah, so I'm trying to be open about the difficult period that I've been in. And yeah, so learning about that from a police phone call was really not what we want in life. It's not the way we want to learn about these things. Yeah. Anyway, that was very traumatic. And then that traumatic experience was made even worse by a very big fight that happened with my mom directly after. Well, the fight wasn't super big. The fight was medium size, but I'm not going to go into the details of that because it's not just my story. So I don't want to make things that are personal to other people public on the internet. You know what I mean? So this situation that happened between my mom and I, it's my story to tell, but it's also her story, and I want to respect her privacy. So I will just leave it at the simple fact of we had some issues that came up directly after my grandmother passed, and my mom decided after these issues that she didn't want to talk to me anymore. And so the 18th was the anniversary of the passing of my grandmother, and the 25th was the anniversary of the last time my mom spoke to me 2 years ago. So October is a really hard month. I really miss my mom and I miss my grandmother. Yeah. Thankfully, it's November 1st now. So I'm hoping that soon I'll stop thinking about that as much. I'm hoping that I can move forward and start thinking about more happy things. I'll just turn the camera up for a moment just to say that I am doing okay. I'm just not doing as well as I normally am. And it's been like a whole month of all of these things playing in my head over and over. And I have a hard time tuning them out. So yeah, I'm just in low spirits. And the good thing is that my husband was present for everything that happened. And he helps me to at least not feel what I probably would feel if I had been alone at that time. He helps me to feel that I don't deserve to have been abandoned by my mom. I'm having trouble finding the words. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into the details. But yeah. Anyway, with that shared and out of the way, I will again say, please don't worry too much. I will be okay. It's just, life is hard sometimes. Families can be hard. I think I think a lot of people struggle with family difficulties, and if you're one of those people, I hope that me sharing about this maybe brings you some comfort, at least in knowing that you're not alone. If you want to chat about anything in the comments, feel free. I'm always happy to listen and to be a supportive ear for anyone who needs it. And yeah, one thing that gets me through is my plants. So I'm here in what my husband and I call my healing room. And this really is the healing room. I can just, the plants help me to silence the loop a little bit. Not completely, but it helps. Yeah. So who else are we gonna repot? We need to get another pot moving. I'm gonna turn the camera back down. Okay. In happier news, I will also tell you some good stories. It's not all doom and gloom in my life, I swear. My job is going really well. I'm super, super busy, like crazy busy, because it's the end of a term in this week, actually. Next Friday, I have to have all of the marks in. I didn't think this through. What is this going to be potted in? Aha, yes, this. 1 second. My luxurians is getting a big, big pot. Anyway, yeah, so I'm super busy because I have to have the marks in, and I have like a million projects that I have to have marked, and I have to put comments in the report cards. Anyone who's a teacher knows what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Yeah, and I have 239 students, by the way. So it's a lot of work when the end of term comes. For anyone who doesn't know, I should have said this at the beginning, I'm a high school art teacher. Yeah. Sometimes I just chat like as if everyone who's watching has been through every video that I've made and knows everything I've ever said. And I have to remind myself that there could be new people watching. If you are new, hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. But yeah, yeah, so I'm super busy. Oh, there's a little bug here. What's that? What bug is that? Are you a spider? You are! You're a tiny little spider! Hi, cutie! Yeah, not me just stopping to pick up the spider on the pot. I don't know if you can see him. Let me see. Can you see him? He's on my thumb. There he is. There he is. He's on my thumbnail. Okay, I'm gonna put him on this. I'm just gonna let him go live his life wherever he wants to go. Good luck to you, sir. Anyway, yeah, so just a little spider break. Totally normal around here. So yeah, although I'm very busy, I'm also very happy. I do really love my job sometimes, and you know, it depends on the day, depends on when you ask, depends on what's going on with the students, but it's often a very rewarding job. I feel I have some very beautiful relationships with my students this year, and I'm really enjoying bonding with them and making art with them. And you know, last week was especially fun because it was Halloween. Like I said, last night was Halloween, so last week was kind of like a whole week of Halloween. I have so many students that I see them over the span of a week. Like the whole 11 groups slowly filter through my classroom over the span of a week. And I decided that for Halloween, I would bring my pet tarantula, Raven, who you may have seen if you watched my Halloween video. If you didn't, you should totally go check it out. In that video, I share my pet bugs, as well as spooky plants. But yeah, so I brought Raven to school, and I shared her with all of my students. And so every period, every day, for a whole week, I shared my tarantula, and I got to watch the kids be super excited. I say kids, but they're teens. But yeah, I got to watch them be super excited and awestruck by this little being that they had never seen before. And it was really fun. It was really like it's like you get to see the world through their eyes sometimes. And I'm sure parents also experience this. I'm not a parent myself, but I get like a little peek into parenthood as a teacher, and I think that's part of it. I get to see the joy and the excitement in the world through their eyes, and it's really fun. They loved Raven. So there were a couple of students that were nervous, but most were super into it. And even the ones that were nervous, they got over their fear, and it was so beautiful to see that me bringing Raven in really helped with lifting some fears. Like, I feel like some of my students are going to go through their lives less scared of spiders because of this decision that I made. And like, that's such a beautiful thing to like contribute to making lives just slightly better is always a nice feeling. And the world is hard, the world is scary, and if I can make these students a little less scared and a little happier, then that's great. My job is done. I think one of the best stories from that week was, here, I'll just bring in the watering thing. I'm going to put this to the side. Oh, it's not going well. There's something under there. Oh, it's a leca ball. Yeah, not good. Not good for balance. So yeah, the best story from that week, it was honestly so adorable. I was walking through the halls and it was lunchtime. I was going somewhere, I don't remember where, not really important. And this group of 3 little teenage girls came running up to me so excited. They're grade 7 girls, and one of them had their hands outstretched, and they were so excited. They were like, "Crystal, Crystal, Crystal." And I'm going to tell you the story like in English, but I do teach in French, by the way, if you don't know. I live in a francophone region in a small town in Quebec, and everybody here speaks French. I'm Anglophone, but I do speak French. And so the story actually took place in French, but I will tell you in English so that anyone can understand. So they came running up to me, and they were like, "Crystal, Crystal, look, do you want to feed this to your tarantula?" And in her hands was a dead cricket that they had found. I don't even know where. I think they said it was near the pool, if I remember correctly. But they found this dead cricket and picked it up with their bare hands and ran through the school to find me and to offer it to me to give to Raven. Unfortunately, I couldn't take the cricket. They were sad about it because Raven will only eat live food, but it was so cute seeing these little teenage girls handing me a dead cricket. It's like something I never thought I would witness in my life. So yeah, bringing Raven to school was a hit, clearly. She looks good, right? I think, yeah, she's definitely ready to grow, and she won't dry out as fast, which is really nice. I'm happy. I don't think she's a silver variety, but she does look it, but sometimes they look this color, well, I think always they look this color when they're young, and then they grow out of it later. It didn't say that it was a silver when I bought it. I got it from Equigenera. Same with my queen, if anyone's wondering. And you know what? I think I'm gonna stop with the repots for tonight just because it's taking longer than I realized, and I think I'll finish the rest of them tomorrow. So we'll make this like a weekend vlog. That wasn't my plan, but that's what it's turning into. Just because, as you saw earlier, I prepared some bread dough, and it's been rising for many hours now, and it's also getting late. I have to shape it, and I have to put the ceramic stone in the oven, and the shaped bread and the stone both need about like 30 minutes to an hour for the stone to get hot enough and for the shaped dough to rise a little bit more before I can bake it. And yeah, if I want to go to bed before 3 in the morning, I need to get started on that last step of my journey for today. So yeah, I will go finish baking, and I will bring you along with me to see that, and then we'll finish the repots tomorrow. Well, it's the next day. Good morning, everybody. I'm a little bit sluggish and bleary-eyed, as is Jojo. But I'm happy to see this new day. It is a little bit gray and overcast, but it's a beautiful day nonetheless. One of my favorite things about baking bread is that first time you cut it. I like to let mine sit overnight before I do the cutting. The texture is always, in my opinion, better that way. It doesn't let the steam out while it's cooling, and so it's less dry in the end. Are you a coffee person or a tea person? I'm both. I love all the drinks. But I tend to go for coffee early in the morning for sure. Do you have something that you eat at breakfast every single day, or that you wish you could have every single day? Like a very favorite comfort food in the mornings? I know most people would say coffee, and I definitely need fruit at every breakfast for sure. But if I was to pick a comfort food at breakfast, I would say that it is the dark chocolate spread that I like to put on my toast. I love it so, so much, and I used to have it every single day, but it's kind of expensive, so I've made it like a little limitation that I can only have it on the weekends, and right now is a weekend, so I'm lucky. I get to have my chocolate spread. My husband prefers peanut butter, so I'll put that on his, but mine will be chocolatey goodness. And it's gonna go so well with the raspberry chocolate bread that I baked. I can't wait to eat this. Hi, folks. It is super cold. I decided to go for this little walk. I do a walk usually every day, and today's the first day that I needed my big mittens and my toque or beanie, I believe most people call it, but us Canadians, we say toques. Yeah, it's freezing. I'm pretty sure it's gonna snow soon. I can just like feel it in the air. You can see the trees. The trees are super bare. The land is covered in leaves. There's none left on the trees at all. We're definitely heading into winter. Fall is officially still happening according to the calendar, but it's really starting to feel we're moving into winter. If it doesn't snow in the next week, I honestly will be surprised. And by the way, Jojo is here with me on the walk. She's so cute. Say hi, Jojo. Anyway, just a little synopsis of my day. I watched a documentary with my husband. We watch a lot of documentaries. After the documentary was finished, I spent some time editing the footage from yesterday's filming, which went really well. It's all done. The only thing is that it's long. So with the bread baking and yesterday's footage being really long, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to cut the plan to talk about watering all of my plants. I feel like that's gonna have to be a whole video all on its own. And a whole separate video will have to be watering my whole plant collection and how I water the different styles of pots and planters. So yeah, stay tuned for the watering video. I don't think I'm gonna do that video next week though. Just because I want to stick to the plan that I made. And I know that a lot of people have shared that they're excited for the Hoya and Begonia collection videos that I'm planning for the end of November. So I want to make sure that I stick to that plan. I don't want to disappoint anybody. So I'll move the watering video and maybe I'll make it like a watering and fertilizer video. I'll move that to maybe the beginning of December. Yeah, that sounds good. By the way, isn't this place beautiful? I'm so lucky to live here. I can't believe this is my quote unquote backyard. Anyway, I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna end the video here. I don't even think I'm gonna finish the repots that I started yesterday because, like I said, it's just too long, too much, and we're at the end of Sunday. I'm really tired. I will maybe do the last couple of repots that were left on my own, which is fun. Sometimes it's nice to do some plant chores by myself with my headphones on, listening to other YouTubers. Yeah. So have a beautiful day, everybody. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, enjoy it. Keep growing, and see you in the next one. And I almost forgot. Let me know in the comments if you made it to the end with a bread emoji. Bye, everybody. Love you.